Now, what I've did is that throughout the sessions that I've done, I point out all this and case studies of how you can use market app. All right, and I like to track them over time, meaning that I like to talk about them as you attend each of the different market app session that I've been doing. Okay, so take a look at the case study one. This is slightly different because ever since I've been doing market app starting from February, I've been covering Capital DC. All right, talk about, for example, how to use the market app to determine price high, to determine price low, and whether to know that whether that is very important levels. Okay, so that is a little bit outdated. I just want to talk about on the 6th of July. Okay, I know that that's like 2 months ago. On the 6th of July, what did I talk about Capital DC? So on the 6th of July, I've showed this chart here. Okay, so Capital DC, the price high at that point of time was 259. So that was the price high. Okay, when I show the market app information, the cluster of prices was around here at 252, average low of 252. Okay, now why is it important to know this? Because on the 27th of April, I've shown another market app information in the Capital DC discussion. What I did was that I've shown that on the us side, we do have quite a huge volume coming in, all right, to sell, meaning that these would be like your price ceiling. These are the seller who are forming that ceiling to prevent price from going up. And it makes sense because if you look at 252, let's take a look at the chart here. 252 was somewhere around here, right? 252 was the previous high. So people was looking at the 252 to sell, because then that was a previous high that we've seen right in the past 1 year. Okay, now however, what changed on the 6th of July? Okay, 6th of July, I presented and I argued that on the in April, all right, the 252 block, 251, 252, 253 was a resistant price ceiling because that volume happens to be at us. But on the 6th of July, that volume happens to be on the bid side. Okay, meaning that people at that point of time, they are looking to buy at the 252 region, okay, 252 region. They are looking to buy at that region then, okay? All right, it means that the hand sort of shifted. The block of seller has now, in July versus April, in July has sort of shifted to become buyer. Okay, so if you take a look back into this region here, even though we are seeing some resistance at 260, all right, but that 252 remains to become a group of buyers coming in. Okay, as long as 252, this region, it's not broken, meaning that it's being supported, there's a high chance that for the stock to go up because the hands sort of shifted from the seller side to become the buyers at that point of time. Okay, of course that we do have the selling block coming in, all right, very strongly at 256. Okay, and lastly, if you see the whole block here, we're gonna see selling coming in all the way until 260, which was about 248 lots. Okay, and of course that we have another one here at 262, which means that the conclusion would be if 260 and until 262, that's being broken, meaning that this group of seller has been bought over and switched to become buyers, then the Capital DC has a higher chance to go up. That was the argument at that point of time. So we are able to map out with market depth 260 being the resistance, and it's important to note that 260 was the resistance at that point of time because then 260 was a high here. Okay, so if price can continue to break this high, clear that seller, then the stock have a chance to go higher. And in fact that we saw that on the somewhere after the 6th of July, price broke above 260, came down a little bit, and then today is actually trading at $3, okay, near the $3 high. Okay, so this is how we can use market depth and watch how it evolve over time to see the switch between buyers and seller. Okay, so that's the Capital DC. Now the second case study I like to talk about is to combine the market depth with the intraday level identification, especially in a strong breakout situation. That means that this particular stock had a strong upsurge. Okay. Now, usually when a stock has a strong upsurge, right, what do? We want to chase. Okay, we want to join the search because in case that the next day is going to go higher. But many times you realize that, I'm not sure whether it happened to you, but many times you realize that the moment that you entered, all right, or rather you don't want to enter, and you wait and you wait and you waited, and the price kept going higher and higher. But the moment that you have entered, oh, you are just dropped. Okay, so let's not let emotion take over. All right, let's be very mathematical, be very precise in our entry. We try to plan each and every entry. So for example, high P, all right, on the 6th of July, when I was doing the material and presenting on the previous market depth session on the 6th of July, it went up 15%. Okay, from this high here, it went up 15%. Right, so you can see that there was a huge surge from around $1.05, 105, all the way to 123. All right, the question will always be, will price goes higher? Okay, now then what I did is I took out a 1 hour chart, meaning that every bar is an hour, and we don't have a lot of information here because we do have an hourly chart. But sometimes when you just rely on the charts, you don't understand what the others are also thinking of. Okay, you don't know what the professionals, what the fund managers, what the traders, or what the other retailers they are looking at. So you need a consensus, especially in such a strong momentum stocks. Okay, so if you can flip into market depth information, so that was the market depth information at that point of time. What happened was that apart from the prices which are trading very near to level 1, which is the current bid and ask price, we have key levels here. Okay, of course the 122 was a key level. All right, but I want to move slightly lower, and you start to see, for example, at particular price 120. Okay, so instead of 100 plus lots, right, it came out to be 300 plus lots. And of course that we have the 119, so these will become a block. That's why I mark it out as a block. All right, we do have the 118 and 117 also as a block as well. You can see that that's about 100 plus lot. So I will really map out these two as a block here, this whole region here. All right, three prices as a block. But very important, next key block, right, you can see was at the 1.12. So what it means is that at that point of time when I extracted the chart, the price level was 1.24. Okay, if you should consider for price to have a bit of a discount, we call that retrace, then you might want to consider the block here at 120, 119, all the way to 117. Okay, now what I did is I also moved into the intraday to draw out these lines here. What does this line mean to me with the charts? Okay, why is it that the people are picking out this particular level? What is it that they are seeing? Okay, so for example, let's take a look at here. 120 happens to be an intraday high. So it's a concept of a previous resistance being broken became a support. Okay, so rather than to just rely on your guts and a feel on what level to queue, our decision becomes a bit informed. All right, informed because we have the level here, which was a previous high at 120 and being supported by with market depth information. Okay, now next level, about the next block, right, I call it next block, about 117, 118, it's somewhere around here. Okay, somewhere about this intraday high as well. Okay, so this high was slightly lower than the 120, so that's the 117, 118 region. Okay, so we have two levels being mapped out here, but another key level will be 1.12. Why is it that people are looking at this level? Probably because there was also another one more high here, so people are interested to get in at this level 1.12. Hopefully if there could be a dip, then they can pick something at a discount here. So these will be the three levels or two key zones that you can map out. All right, now on the right hand side, We are seeing significant volume coming in at 126. Okay, so that's high. And another block of volume coming in at 128, 129, 130. After that, you don't really see any volume. Apart after, we're going to see, for example, the slight volume coming in at 135 and 136. Okay, so these are all the key levels being mapped out. All right, so remember, first level 112. All right, second block will be around 117, 118. The next block, which will be slightly stronger, all right, will be 119, 120. Okay, perhaps some of you will ask me, why aren't you considering 122? Yes, I am, but let's take a look at the market app information. If you are looking at a discount, you want the discount to be deeper. Okay, you don't want to have a slight discount, right? If you're talking about retracement strategy, so 120 happens to be nothing, nowhere. All right, it's only, sorry, 122 happens to be nowhere in my price chart. It's only at 120. All right, then we have the key level here, 117, 118, this key level here, and 112 around here. So apart from market depth information, I will always check back with the price chart. Okay, I won't just look at market depth. I will always check back with my intraday chart to take a look at what the intraday chart is telling me. Okay, to reinforce each other. Okay, now let's take a look at the outcome here with high P. All right, now with high P, what happened was that on the 6th of July, all right, this was what happened, a huge surge upwards. Okay, price continued to move up towards the 135 region and start to retrace. Okay, start to retrace. You can see that after on its retracement, it came back down. It came to the region of 1.18 to 1.19. Remember, 1.18, 1.19 was a previous high. Okay, 1.18, 1.9, 1.18, 1.19 was a previous high. All right, now this block, this level here was being supported by the market depth information. So some people might have just decided to get in early at 120. Some people might still stick to the 1.19, 1.18, but whatever it is, if they have queued in at this level, all right, then that's a nice level because price actually moved towards the 1.35 and 140 again. Okay, so that's a good intraday strategy. So do back up your levels, all right, with market depth to map in a very good intraday entry and exit levels. Okay. All right, now let's take a look at the third case study. This third case study, I've just prepared that, and I prepared that on the 18th of Sep, okay, because this was what I saw on 18th of Sep. All right, so that's last Friday. And the next market depth session, we will talk about it. Okay, now let's take a look at what happened on the 18th of Sep, which is last Friday. All right, what I saw was a trending up stock, right? And I think you know about this stock, which is a supermarket stock, Shenzong, and it did very well. After the COVID, right? It did very well. Price actually move up. Okay, now these levels here that I map out, they are very important. Why is it so? Because one of the concept is that a previous resistance, if it's broken, can become a support. Okay, so for example, we have a high here, it was broken and price come back down, becomes a support here. Okay, so that's another one more high that was broken. So price broke at around this level here at 158. Okay, it broke above, it came down a little bit towards the 160 and moved higher towards 185 and 190 region. Okay, now once again the stock comes back down. So this was a previous resistance. All right, that's broken. If it's gonna come back down, we want to know, all right, we want to know one thing. Are there many people who are also watching this level? Because from the chart point of view, right, there are people, there are price levels here. Okay, from the concept of what we learned in technical analysis, we know that this could be a very important price level, but we are not sure. We are not sure what others are thinking of, what others are looking at. It might be because of price moving higher. People might be waiting at 130, for example, here. Okay, we are not sure about that. Or it could be that at this place here, it's going to be a very good trading opportunity, because then if you can just get in at near the low, and if price is to move slightly higher, then, intraday trading could get you like 10-cent movement, or, 15 cents movement in a strong movement situation. Okay, so what I did is map in a blue dotted line here. That blue dotted line happens to be a previous low, and it stopped here nicely with a Friday weekly chart, like bit of a hammer candle. That's bullish in indication. Okay, meaning that price could be finding a support here at the 160 region based on the previous low. However, what I did is I also mapped in a previous high turn into a possible support here at 158, and a previous high into a support at 152. What I'm interested to know is that what are the thoughts of others around these key levels. Okay, so let's take a look at the market depth information. Okay, now, so if you take a look at the market depth information, all right, we have the current level 163 and 164. That's the bid and the asked queue. Okay, so we have more people bidding, all right, at the 163. Obviously, price went up a little bit, but we can see at the 160, there's a huge increase in volume. All right, can you see that? 162, there are about 700 lots. That's also quite significant. Okay, but the 160, which will be the key levels that's being identified here based on the previous low, the blue dotted line, we have 937 lots. Right, this means that if you are drawing in the levels yourself, then you have a lot of confidence that that's also what others are looking at. There are people queuing here. There are more volume at this location, and they're interested to buy at this particular price. Okay. Now, what I like to see is I like to see blocks, right? Remember I said before the 158 was a previous high. So indeed that we see a bit of a bump up, right, in terms of volume at 158. Okay, so we do have a support region being mapped up here, right? 160 and 158. These will be the two key levels that we are looking at. Okay, now, very important information. Remember, I talk about blocks, right? These block of volume here at 154 all the way to 158. All right, these are the block of volume. All right, and why is that so? Because then we have this whole chunk that could be a previous level, a previous zone. All right, and people are actually queuing here, or noting that these are very important levels. Okay, now after that, no more. You don't really see people queuing already. So there's a huge decline in terms of volume. Okay, so a few implications. Number one, if you are looking to buy this stock, so these are all the possible areas that you want to consider, especially into the region of 160, 158. Okay, so that's two levels you can look at. Now, number two is that if this whole key level, the block here until 154, okay, which map in with the support level here at this place, right? If they are cleared means that price actually trade lower than this. It means that the stock is likely going to drop further, because we don't really see very strong volume coming in at the bottom here. Okay, so far people are seeing these as a region, right, for at least on the 18th of September. So this becomes a very, very important indication to know that if this level, right, is being cleared, broken down, okay, meaning the price trades lower than this region here, there's a high chance that the stock might continue to fall. Okay, of course, if you take a look at what's happening inside here, then you can map out key resistance zones, price ceiling, and that will be 165, 166, and of course we have the 170 region here, 170. Okay, just for your information, today Sheng Siong moved up. Okay, from here rebounds, and it's trading at 170. So it means that the 160 is a very clear support zone for the market. Okay, that's why today bounced up to 170. Okay, now, so let me just sum up what market depth is all about. It gives you the hidden support resistance. All right, and with this you can plan your entry and exit. It's very important to use the market depth to confirm your chart price level, or the other way, to use the chart price level to confirm market depth. All right, in a breakout situation, we need to also take a look at the time and sale, meaning the trade summary, to see whether the volume is tilted towards which side, more on the ask or more on the bid. Okay, if it's bullish, you want volume to be on the ask side. If it's bearish, you want volume to be more towards the break side, or the bid side. Okay, intraday trading, very important, as I map out, use a 1 hour chart, map in the key levels, and that will gives you a good guide on where you might want to consider do intraday trading. All right. Okay, now let me just quickly cover this DLC, because I've come to the end of the session already. If you are looking at intraday trading, and if you are also interested to use a certain form of leverage, right, then you might want to consider DLC, daily leverage certificates, and it's for SIP qualified investors only. All right, what is the benefit of trading into DLC is leverage, meaning that you use a small amount of money to trade a big amount of money. It allows you to go long or go short, meaning to buy or sell. Okay, so you don't need to own anything. If you think that the market is coming down, you can go short. Okay, you can sell. Right, you do have popular names in Singapore and Hong Kong. So, for example, few stocks that are running very well, tech stocks, right, in Hong Kong. Right, you can actually trade that via DLC in Singapore. Right, low capital outlay, low transaction fee, and risk management. You don't have the margin call issue coming up. Okay, but do bear in mind that you can lose everything when you trade DLC. Okay, now how does DLC work? If you are buying DBS at 25, then if it goes up by 50 cents, that's an increase of 2%. However, if you're trading a leverage product such as DLC 5 times long, all right, so instead of making 2%, you can make 10%. Likewise, your loss will be also amplified as well. Your loss could be minus 10% as well. Okay, so these are some of the names for the Singapore and the Hang Seng stocks. Okay, as I mentioned here, some of the tech stocks are doing very well, such as Meituan, Xiaomi, and the Tencent. Okay. All right. Now, if you'd like to know more about DLC, please go to this website here. So these are the two websites. And of course, the disclaimer: DLC, you need to get qualified to trade that. And of course, that if you like to know more about SIP, you can go to this website here, or you can scan that later on after the session. All right. I come to the end of the session. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.